School is set to be back in session, and new ads from the United Way are catching people's attention as the organization tries to prevent teen pregnancy. Joining us this morning to talk about the ads, Nicole Angrisano from the United Way. Nicole, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's take a look at some of these ads that are popping up. We're seeing them on bus shelters throughout Milwaukee. And as we take a look at them, why don't you just describe what we're looking at?
Well, these kind of ads go back to years ago, about 6 years ago, with our initial focus groups with youth, when they talked to us about what was really going to resonate with kids, and that was you have to tell kids that being a teen parent is really hard, and that when you become a teen parent, there may be some things in your life you can't do as easily as you could have before. For example, dunking the ball, and that's sort of a cheeky way of getting at a more serious issue, which is that we want young people to have all opportunities available to them as they become adults. And when you have a baby, and many of these teen parents are doing the best they can, but when you have a baby at a young age, it makes it much more difficult to achieve those milestones, such as graduating from high school, going to college or into a trade, and having that sort of successful pathway.
And this ad that we're taking a look at right now features a young woman, but the first one we looked at, it showed a young man. Is part of the message that teen pregnancy is a responsibility for teenage boys and girls?
That's exactly right. We think for too long the issue has really been portrayed as a girls-only issue, and what we know is that obviously, there's girls and boys involved in creating a pregnancy and then in parenting later on. So it's really important for us to make sure that our messages don't just talk to teenage girls about their responsibilities, but also talk to teenage boys about theirs.
And I think it's also interesting to point out where you place the ads. How do you go about choosing the locations where these posters go up?
Well, as with everything in our campaign, we rely heavily on data. And what we know is that there are certain zip codes in the community that have a higher rate of teen pregnancy and teen births than others. That's not to say that teen pregnancy is exclusively a Central City problem. But when we do these ads, we look very carefully at the geography. We look at the zip code data and we say, where are we going to get the biggest reach for the highest risk population? And that's where we choose the bus shelters, in this case, bus shelters, to put the ads up on.
All right. What is the overall goal of the campaign? I know that the posters are just one piece of the big effort.
This is an incredible community-wide effort. I can't say enough about the collaborative work that has gone into this from members of the faith community, Milwaukee public schools, business leaders. We have one goal as a community, and that's to reduce births to teens by 46% by 2015. It's an audacious goal. It's the only goal of its kind in the country, and I'm really pleased to say that 5.5 years in, almost 6 years in now, we've already dropped over 30%. So we're really confident that in 2015, the community is going to be pleasantly surprised with some wonderful news, which is that teen births and teen pregnancy have gone way down in over the time of this collaborative.
And as part of your messaging, is it going through the public schools, or is all of your efforts outside of school?
We have efforts everywhere. We have in-school efforts. We have community-based organizations that have taken the charge. We have efforts in church and faith communities. So this is one strategy, which is a very public strategy in that it's on bus shelters. These posters are also going to be up in select Milwaukee public schools. We really consider this to be an all-hands-on-deck effort. So if there's an audience, a location where we're going to reach the people that need to hear these messages, we're going to be there.
All right, Nicole, thank you so much for being here this morning, and we'll look for the ads throughout the city.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You can learn more about United Way by heading to our website. That's today's TMJ4.com, and click on links.